I was scared as hell. Welcome back to my channel. This is Murphy's Corner. My name is Tamika, and I wanted to talk to you guys about my hysterectomy. So May 1st, to be exact, I had a laparoscopic hysterectomy. I got everything removed but my ovaries. Now, disclaimer, I didn't have fallopian tubes. They took my fallopian tubes out in 2017 due to a uterine rupture. So I did not have fallopian tubes, but they took everything else except for my ovaries. And when I found out that I had to have a hysterectomy, I ain't gonna lie, I was devastated. I was scared as hell. I came to YouTube. I went down the rabbit hole of searching like essentials that I would need for before surgery or after surgery or during surgery or anything that I could look up to make myself feel comfortable. I looked it up, and I looked it up on YouTube. I will say this, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Getting a hysterectomy, it's not the end of the world. It actually opened my eyes, and I am a better person for getting the hysterectomy because I was sick. I didn't even know that I was like life-threatening anemic until they told me. Life after hysterectomy has been great. I know that there are some myths out there that says that everybody that gets a hysterectomy is going to dry up like a raisin. Not true. Actually, it's the opposite for me. Anyway, TMI, I'm letting y'all into too much of my business. But anyway, some of the essentials that I did get for recovery would be, I got stool softener because you're going to need that. I got gas X. Let me tell you, the amount of gas that was in my body after this hysterectomy is insane. I mean, it was diabolical. I know they filled my abdomen up with gas in the surgery to, I guess, enlarge the field and see what they were trying to do laparoscopically. And you could tell because after I came home, I had so much gas in my body, and I'm not talking just about in my stomach. I'm talking about in my chest. It was bad. It was like, I almost feel like I was going to have a heart attack one time. Like, it was horrible, the amount of gas that I had after surgery. So yes, gas X was definitely essential for my recovery. I purchased a heating pad because I guess the heat soothed the pain a little bit, and I'm not one to take a lot of pain medications. Like, they did prescribe me a opioid, and I took it one time, but because I didn't go to sleep right after I took it and I felt the effects of it like in real time, I threw it away. I didn't want to take it no more. My doctor asked, he was like, did you take the pain medication that I prescribed? And I was like, hell no. Threw it in the garbage. So I did get ibuprofen. I will take ibuprofen. But I didn't really have that much pain. I could say that maybe I was in pain for the first 2 days. And after the 2 days was up, I kind of like made my way upstairs and I was walking around the house. I finally got in the shower. I was kind of like back to normal, but in a slow form. Like, I wasn't really doing everything that I like would do like at a fast pace, but I still was getting around. I was going outside and stuff like that. Now, I will say the day of my surgery, I was very terrified, but they knocked me out real quick. When I say quick, I think they asked me a question once they wheeled me back. They gave me some medication in pre-op that kind of like made me feel a little loopy. And then when they wheeled me back, I could tell I was in the operating room. And they asked me a question. I asked them why they didn't have no pillows. Why y'all ain't got no pillows back here? And that's the last thing I remembered. And I woke up. And when I woke up, I was like, dang, my lip feel big. They had like the tube that they put down my throat had busted my lip, y'all. I was like, y'all busted my lip. Y'all had one job. Y'all had one job. Like, I was tripping, but I was also HIGH from the anesthesia. So yeah. But yeah, I had 2 busted lips actually. And I know they say that it's gonna take you a long time to urinate. And the nurses kept coming in trying to help me to the bathroom to urinate. And I'm not one to depend on others. So I stopped calling them because I'm like, I can walk. And I'm a nurse myself. So I was like, if I don't got to call these nurses, I know what we go through. And I don't want to call them every time I feel like I have to pee because they gave me a catheter. I had a catheter during the surgery. And you know, like once you get a Foley catheter taken out, like you feel like you got to pee like every 5 seconds. So I'm like, I don't want to call these nurses every 5 seconds. So I was just getting up. Going to the bathroom. And then they came in there and they was like, Miss Murphy, where are you? I'm like, I'm in the bathroom. They was like, you were in there from last time? I'm like, nah, I done been to the bathroom like 8 more times after that, sweetie. And they was laughing at me. I was extremely hungry. But yeah, the essentials that I definitely would invest in if you are about to get a hysterectomy, I would say stool softener, Cause that first bowel movement, y'all, and I know this TMI, but this is me. This is real and raw. This is how I get down. But yeah, the bowel movement after the hysterectomy, that was scary. That was a little scary. So like, you need some stool softening. You need that gas X for real. I'm not saying that everybody is gonna have that experience with gas, because I've watched some videos and people said that they didn't have gas, which was like, why I had to have it, because it was definitely scary for me. I was like literally about to call 911 on myself. I got the gas X. I had like coloring books and stuff like that, because for the first 2 days, like I said, I was kind of like couch bound. I was on the couch laying here watching TV. I got ran out of shows to watch, so I had to have something to do. And then I had my social media, and that's exactly when I started off on TikTok, is during that 6-week stint of me recovering. Like after I got back to me walking around normally and stuff like that, that's when I bounced off into TikTok, and that's when I took it seriously and stuff like that. So I will say I had a lot of stuff to do while I was recovering, but as far as pain goes, I was only in pain for the first 2 days. Now incisions, I only had two. I'm sorry, I'm lying. I had four. I had two on the left side, one on the right, and then I had one in my belly button. One in my belly button, but you can't really see the scar from that. You can't see none of the scars really. And that didn't take long to heal at all. I will say that once I left out of surgery, I was a bit sore, because what they don't tell you before you get a hysterectomy is they flip your body upside down. It's called Trendelenburg. And so by them flipping me upside down, the weight of my boobs, like it just made my neck and my back sore and everything like that. So I asked them, I said, why am I sore? And they tried to tell me that was the anesthesia. And then when the surgeon actually came to see me that night, he was like, no, you were upside down. Like we had to flip you. I'm like, flip me? Like, what you mean you twisted me like a pretzel in here? Y'all supposed to be focusing on my uterus. So yeah, I was a little sore after that. Thank God for the heating pad. Heating pad is a very good thing to get to. Other than that, I will say my life since my hysterectomy has been great. I can definitely tell how sick I was now, because I had the hysterectomy due to being severely anemic. I'm talking about life-threatening anemic. My hemoglobin was like a 6 or something, and my iron saturation was a 3. My organs weren't getting the proper oxygen that they needed to function. And so I had to do the hysterectomy, but that came after I had like blood transfusions, and I tried iron infusions. I was severely allergic to those. That almost killed me. So the hysterectomy was it. It turns out I had like 5 fist-sized fibroids on my uterus. They weren't cancerous or anything like that, but they were big tumors, which caused me to have very, very, very heavy periods. So the crazy part is I was on my menstrual cycle on the day of the surgery. So just imagine going to surgery, being on your period, and then coming out and you're not. Like that was the most magical thing. Y'all don't know how much I praised Jesus after that. Like just to know that was my last menstrual cycle and I would never have to see a period again. That was great for me. Now I will say, as it pertains to early menopause, the only symptom that I be having is hot flashes. Like I get a hot flash in a minute and I have to go step outside. I'm in Michigan, so stepping outside in the winter time just because you hot is crazy, but I do it. I would do it at work. I don't care. I'll be like, I'll be right back. I gotta go outside. But all in all, I'm healthy. The hysterectomy was great for me. So if you have to get one, I'm not gonna tell you not to do your research, because that's just like, you have to research. But I will say that life afterwards is very, very good. Now, I will say I did gain a couple of pounds. They say you either lose weight after hysterectomy or you gain weight. In my case, I gained a little bit of weight, and I'm focusing on trying to get that off, like because I do work midnights. I am a nurse. I try to take like low fat food if I do have to take any food. So tonight I'm going to make like a little broccoli and shrimp stir fry with sesame sauce to take with me to work to eat on while I'm there. A little fresh cut watermelon and some water. So I've been trying to do that while I'm at work, because me eating like dinner that I will cook at 6 o'clock is not going to work for me. Like I can't take macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and roast to work and eat that at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be contributing to the pounds that I already am gaining just by breathing air. So I'm trying to focus on eating more healthier options throughout the day and while I'm at work, because since my hysterectomy, it's so easy for me to gain weight, but it's so hard for me to get it off. So if you have any other questions about my hysterectomy journey, leave a comment below. And if you feel compelled to, please subscribe. And as always, you guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day. In Jesus' name, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.